What's up, world, and welcome back to another episode of Mix and Chat. I'm your boy JaVie, here with my boys D-Lo.
Yo, what's up?
And Cha.
What up?
Omega Green is off tonight. Y'all ready to do this?
Yes, sir.
Let's get into it. Alright, so y'all know how we do it. Cha, how you feeling?
Hey, America, welcome back. We back in the building, so guess what?
Watch out
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Hey.
yeah, go, get money, y'all. Get money, y'all. Get money, y'all. Get money, y'all. I'm feeling pretty good right now. I'm
Is
feeling
that how you
hyped,
feeling?
America. Yes, America. I'm trying to get money, y'all.
I like
I'm
that
trying
feeling.
to get money, y'all. Shout out to the Beat Nuts, by the way. Watch out now. That's the Beat Nuts in the building. We got the Beat Nuts
In the building.
in the building. So, I feel good today, coming over here. I've had a good week. Anytime I can maintain and wake up because he woke me up and then go to work and expect a paycheck. Get money, y'all. I'm just saying. I'm feeling really good today, man. I think what we got today is going to be exciting.
Yes.
It's going to be refreshing. It's going to be informative, and I'm just looking forward to it. That's all I gotta say. Get money, y'all. Get money, y'all. What up, D-Lo? How you feeling today?
Man, I don't know how I'm gonna follow that up. Little hype man over here. But nah, it's good, man. I'm a little ragged because of the Amazon Flex route I've been doing this week, wearing me out. But I can safely say by the end of this month, we will be where we finally need to be.
I know that's right.
I've been telling Tamara that not that we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. But
And who is Tamara?
It's my wife, of course.
They
know. But we talk about it. We talk about it.
Exactly what
We talk about it. But like I've been telling Tamara, because here lately we just been seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
But now I'm starting to feel the heat off the light.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So
So
getting close to getting that
flavor.
Just waiting on the dude to be like, excuse me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Facts.
So it's just like it's good, man. It's good. So
That's what's up, man.
How you feeling, JaVie?
I'm feeling good. Get money. Get money.
Get money, hobby.
Get money, y'all. But no, I'm feeling good. I'm just in a point where things are on the upside. Like things aren't bad. Like I've, knock on wood, kind of past that aspect of it up. I'm just happy with myself. I'm happy with where my life is going, where my career is going. Cause get money. But no, I'm just having a good time and I'm enjoying life. So I'm in a really good space. If we were still doing What's Your Number, I'd definitely be sitting at a 9.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I think
what's up. You gotta enjoy life at this point because we don't know what the future holds. But hang in there, America. Just hang in there. Don't give up on this on life right now. It's a mix up right now, but like JaVie said, he's loving life.
Yes.
Love life, no matter what. Find a way.
And don't give up on us either, y'all.
Amen.
Don't give up on us either, y'all. Because when we come back from being mixed in chat, we're going to get y'all mixed in the chat. All right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you in a second. All right, y'all. So welcome back. And for our first segment, let's talk about it.
All right, America. This is Cha. He's back in the building.
In the
He's back in the
building.
building. I've been doing my research and I found something interesting. So let's talk about it. So this actually happened back in October. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because it has not made the national news. And I think it should. So we're going to talk about it and get some point of views. Get some point of views on this because I think it's very important that we talk about it. So let me start off by saying once again that the incident happened in October. There was a young man, and I'm going to say his name, just like last week when I said that young girl's name. I'm going to say this man's name. His name is Tremaine White. America, let's say his name, Tremaine White.
Is that my cousin?
He was 41 years old. He might be.
No, dead ass.
Mississippi. This is Mississippi, though. This is Mississippi.
You got any family in Mississippi?
Oh no, I gotta ask my
But
mom.
I don't know, because Tremaine, I don't know if Tremaine is a common name, but White is. So
It is a common name too.
White is definitely a common name.
But you know,
But on a serious note, this man, he was a truck driver, and he stopped in Amite, Mississippi, and I may be saying that wrong. Forgive me, Mississippi, if I said it wrong. I'll spell it out for you: Amite, and I'll pronounce it as Amite, Mississippi.
Emmett.
It
Mike.
could be that.
Yeah.
It could be that. I haven't that part I didn't research because I didn't think it was important enough.
No.
But the thing is this man, he's a truck driver, and he stopped to get a tire change, and just minding his own business, he did. He was just getting a new tire. Apparently, he went back to his vehicle, and he threw a paper towel out his window. And
Time's up. I'm sorry, I had to.
Wrap it up, B.
Yeah, I'm just because I
own
know they
America.
heard that. I know they heard
They
that.
own it, America. They own one America. But
But
let me continue.
yeah, I'm sorry.
So it's all good. It's all good.
This is not a moment to laugh because
No,
this is serious.
it's all good. It's all good because the America's gonna know. Because I'm gonna keep saying his name, and I'm gonna get deeper and deeper into this. Because my goal is to try to make this national. I don't know how, but I will. So, like I was saying, he threw a paper towel out the window, and the manager inside of the tire shop saw something different, and he called the cops. And what he said was that he saw a man throw a Glad bag that looked like it was filled with white substance out the window onto the grass.
What?
So we're gonna talk about this real quick,
Oh, yeah.
because that's what I want you all to, give me some
Stereotype.
insight on this. Why this was even police worthy. So if you was to see a man, Javi and D-Lo, throw a Glad bag out of a vehicle with a white substance in it, what would be your first thought? And I'm gonna start with you, Javi.
If I see a man throw a bag out with white substance, is it drugs?
Is it drugs? Is that your answer?
And that's any man. Or like it wouldn't be is it drugs, it'd be what is it?
Right. But apparently he called because he thought it was something illegal. So maybe he thought it was drugs.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
So my question once again to you, if you saw it, what would you think that it could possibly be?
I mean, it could be anything, but my first assumption is, okay, he's driving, or is he just sitting there? He's just sitting there?
Yeah,
and he throws
because
it out
the
the
vehicle
window?
was stopped. So
It's trash. He's
Right.
throwing trash
So,
out the window.
He's throwing trash
if he's just
out the
sitting
window.
there.
Would you think it was drugs? So
No, because why
let
would he
me
be
ask
throwing
you this.
drugs out the window?
What if you? Thank you.
If it's
Thank
drugs,
you.
you would want to hide that.
Thank you.
Not
Thank
just
you,
throw it out
America.
the window.
Thank you.
But
Yeah.
I'm going to go over and investigate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean, I think the same thing because, like, first of all, ain't nobody just randomly throwing out drugs out their window.
Exactly.
Especially drugs.
Unless they're being
drugs.
chased. Now, if he was driving down the road and
Sir.
had speed,
A whole different scenario.
Sir,
Whole
we
different
we are in a recession and drugs cost too much.
Exactly. And that's the part
It
that
just
sticks out the most to me, America. Think about it now. Think about it. Because before you all start saying, I need to hear the whole story, this, that, and the third, think about it. Why would anybody in their right mind be throwing drugs out of their vehicle? Especially if it's a white powdery substance, the first thing you're going to think is cocaine. It's cocaine. It's cocaine. Why would he be doing that?
well,
In a sit-still situation.
my thing is about that is one, First of all, it had no. You said it was the store owner that called the cops.
Yeah, the manager.
Yeah,
the manager.
First of all, it had nothing to do with him.
Exactly.
Second of all, I would have thought it was trash. Now, if it was somebody that already had a cop behind them and they threw a bag or they threw a paper towel out the window, it is what it is.
Right.
You know, that's when you can be like, okay, that is what it is.
Even littering is not a federal offense. So yeah.
No, but I'm just saying, like that's where my mind would go.
Right.
If they already had the cops behind them.
Right.
Or the cops pulled up and they would just saw something.
Right, a whole different scenario.
But in this scenario, yeah, he's just throwing trash out. So, but I mean, even that is still not worthy of the owner to call the cops.
Right.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
The manager, not
like,
the owner, the manager.
Stay in your lane. Like,
right, stay in your lane, but at the same time, why would you call the cops before you went out there and asked him or went out there and looked for yourself?
Yeah, now if it was something like that, you could have just went out there and be like, hey, you got to move.
Shit. Like,
or you got to move. If he's sitting there for a while, Lord,
you need to pick that up and move.
Yeah.
And then call the cops after you confirmed what it was.
So I'm going to say this and I'm going to move on. What would make you think that somebody is throwing drugs away for you to have to call the cops? Why is that the first thing that crossed your mind?
Because he was black.
Okay, and see, I'm not going to say that.
I'm
not going to say that yet.
I am.
I'm not going to say that yet.
I was thinking it, but
yeah,
that would be the only reason. It's a black dude that just threw a baggie out the window.
Right. Okay. So then, well, say America said I was going to move on, but now I have a follow-up question. Even if it was because he was black, what would make you think that was police worthy? Because it still doesn't make sense. It still doesn't make sense that you would call the law on somebody
because that person was
out
probably
what you suspect is drugs.
It was probably prejudice. It could be prejudice. It could be racism. It could be the fear of other people coming for whatever he just threw out.
What makes him think he could get away with that part of it? Saying that this man, I think I saw this man throw drugs out on the grass. There's no logic to that.
There's not, but I mean, I'm not taking up this dude by any means.
No, I understand.
But one way of thinking, actually, it's probably not even gonna sound like I'm taking up for him, honestly. One way of thinking could be that he's so scared of confrontation that he had to get the law involved to get him to move.
Right, but he was a customer, so that's another thing. He's a customer. So my point to this is where I'm going with this now is it makes me question the city. It makes me question the city because if I wanted to get the law involved in somebody, even if I'm racist, if I wanted to get the law involved, that's the last thing. I wouldn't say that I seen him throw drugs on the ground. I would say I think I seen him snorting powder. I would say something that was logical, that makes sense. So it makes me question the city.
Question everything.
Right,
Don't
because
just question
the point is what made you think that you could call the police and say something petty enough to think that they would come and investigate that?
Because he knew they'd come.
Yeah.
Now we're getting somewhere. That's my point. So now I'm questioning the city itself, and it is Mississippi. So that's why I say let's talk about it, because there's a whole lot to unpack.
Racism is heavy in Mississippi.
Yes. So it makes me question.
He knew that the people that were going to come were going to be the people that he wanted to come.
Right. But my question, once again, is what's been going on in that city where he could just say something that petty?
The same thing that's been going on there for years.
And is it a city or is it a small town environment?
Right.
Because that matters too. Because all right, so let's say this. So a place like here in Lexington, you call a store calls the cops and say, oh, somebody just threw drugs out their window. They're probably gonna either take a while to get there, or because they got to respond to the call regardless.
But that doesn't make sense.
Or if it's like a small town like my hometown,
right,
where that's all it takes.
Right, and that goes back to my point. So it's actually a rhetorical question. because I
Right.
want the reason why I'm saying it like this is because, what is this city like? What else are they covering up? Because if that's all it takes, it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder why it was that simple. So it's not really a question of why. It's more of a rhetorical question about what is this city about?
Well,
Right.
and that's why I asked about the environment of the city.
Right.
If,
We
it,
don't know.
if it's somewhere like my hometown,
Don't go to Emmett.
because where I'm from,
Don't go to Emmett.
that would, like, even me just sitting in the car and throw something out looking like that, they would say that it would be, I just threw drugs out the window. But that's
I
my
don't think that
hometown.
anyway in Lexington would. Oh well, you saying your
My
hometown.
hometown.
Okay,
That's what I'm
America.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Here,
You
it's
might
a
get
little
a Karen here in Lexington.
Right.
You might get a Karen like, you need to pick that
different.
out.
Yeah. So
Right.
that's here in Lexington.
So let me say this, America. Did you all hear D-Lo's response? He said it makes him, if something like that, it makes him think about his hometown. And that's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want. It's not about how silly it was. It makes him reflect on how petty it was, but he's used to it because of the town that he grew up in. Was it a small town? Was it a big city? Was it this? Was it that? Was it the third? And so that type of context matters. That type of context matters because they have to do more than look into, and it's an ongoing investigation, and I still haven't gotten into the details because I wanted insight from the team, America. But that is the whole point. That is the whole point. That matters. That matters because you're going to have some people that are going to say, well, shit happens. Shit happens. But we have D-Lo, who is Caucasian America, and this question allowed him to reflect on what he's seen in his hometown.
Only by appearance, y'all. Only by appearance.
Right. Yeah, but yeah, he won a bus, America. He won a bus. He won a bus. But we don't keep it real.
He's
We gonna keep
Caucasian
it real.
America.
Because that's the context that needs to be questioned. That needs to be questioned. What is this city like?
Well,
why was that okay? What was it? And so D-Lo is basically saying
But I have a
that he
follow-up
can
question
relate
for
because
D-Lo.
he's seen it. Huh?
I have a follow-up question for D-Lo.
Yes.
Is your hometown still like that today?
So, okay, yes. But, okay.
They are?
So, well, let me get some context to that.
Now I'm looking at you sideways. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
So, no,
it's my brother.
no,
Yeah.
So, no,
Hey.
like,
But
okay.
this is
so,
real life.
Yeah.
So,
This is real
and,
life.
and this is what it is. So, my hometown, you got a little mixture of both. You have that country, redneck type stuff, and then when you get downtown,
You
is
get
where
that
you,
jowling.
you
Yeah.
get, no,
Jowling.
you got that. There's certain streets
Got
you
now,
don't,
Joe.
you got them certain streets you don't walk around
If you're
with,
black?
with red on.
Oh,
You know what I
right.
mean?
Gang
Yeah.
stuff.
So it was kind of a little bit of mixture of craziness.
Mhm.
And they, you got the old heads that will call cops for stupid stuff like that. Just because it is what it is.
Right.
And then you got some instance of where some places probably wouldn't even matter.
Right.
But it's like, the reason I asked that is because of that situation. Because where I lived in that situation, and then I came here. When I came here, and nobody knew me, because when I growing up in my hometown, everybody knows everybody.
Right.
They know the sheriff by name.
Right.
I knew the sheriff by name. But coming here, nobody knew me,
Right.
and so. It's a lot different. Like now I realize how small Lexington is, but it's still bigger than my hometown.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But let's stick to the content because once again, my whole point, because I don't want to get off away, and I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but your point was your original point was you've seen this before.
Yeah.
In a small town.
Yeah.
And that's important because now once again, no matter how this plays out, we still have to question what made that man think that was worthy enough for the cops to come running because of his environment.
Because
that's
he
important.
felt scared and intimidated. He didn't.
No. No,
No.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about
He's
that.
talking about
at
the
all.
mindset of
The
what.
mindset, his mindset to that he could say something petty enough for them to come for that. Because once again, we all said, why would he be? Who in their right mind would throw drugs out of their vehicle?
Well, he didn't. Where I was getting at, honestly, and I should have clarified it, was he didn't want that particular type person sitting in the store. So when he threw that out, he called the cops instead of just telling him you got to move.
Right, but you're still talking about that, and I'm gonna say this one last time, and then I'm gonna move on from that. My point is that he used that petty ass excuse and knew that the cops would come running because that's petty. Yeah. That's not a reason
like
for
you
the cops
wanted,
to be coming.
it's like
So
you wanted him to get in trouble. You wanted him to get in trouble. Yeah. You didn't like that person, even though he never did anything to you. He never looked at you sideways.
No,
all he did was throw trash out the window.
And that part is valid. The racism part is valid. But now I'm questioning the city because he had no problem saying I saw him throw drugs out of his car onto the grass. And so that's my point. What within him made it okay? So what have they been doing? So now he doesn't even have to sit back and think like, oh, this man came in here and he said he was gonna punch me in the face, because normally something like that and they say, well, describe him. Oh, he's a black man, and here they come. He didn't have to use none of that. And so that's my point, and that's my only point. I'm questioning the city and what made it okay that he knew that they would come.
It's because he's done it before.
I'm saying
not just that, but he did.
And that's my point. He's done it before, but once again, I'm just questioning the city.
Yeah,
not the person.
No. That's what I'm saying. That is actually now what I'm saying.
He's questioning law enforcement.
Yeah, and that's the city and the law enforcement in that town, city,
I'm
or
trying
whatever
to uncover
it is.
some shit.
They have made that okay.
I get what
because
you're
it's
saying.
probably something that happens multiple times,
Right.
And so they have
the
made that
pettiest
okay.
of pettiest reasons
he's questioning
to get away with.
He's questioning the morals of the cops that are involved, because y'all heard that and y'all came that quick and did that and didn't even.
And we don't even know what's happening yet because I haven't gotten into that point. So I need to get into that point, America.
Yeah. Yeah.
So okay,
he's just America, why would that be the call that he made for them to come running? And how did he know that call that he was gonna make and say, "Hey, there's drugs here"?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Boom.
I
see what you're saying.
It's a behavior thing. He's done that before.
I'm not talking about him.
He's not talking about the man.
I'm talking about the climate of the city.
But that's what I'm saying. The climate of the city has made that okay to where he's done that multiple times.
So right. So
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
The climate, and so that's the question.
That's the question.
Yeah.
So
I got that. That's what I was saying. That's what I was talking about.
Right. So let me say this again. I'm gonna say this one more time. We need to investigate the city. Yeah. That was my whole point. I don't care about how many times it's been done. This city needs to be investigated because I think it's doing more. They're doing some other shit to make this okay.
Yeah.
And so that was my whole point of this.
Gotcha.
The city needs to be questioned why they can just say something that petty. Not that person, because he's not the only one that's probably doing it. I think the city, they need to put this city under a microscope. And that's the only place I'm going.
Yeah.
So but before you say anything else, I want to get to the meat of this, because we're talking about this, but we don't know the outcome. We don't know what the consequences was of this man calling the police. So what happened was the cops came, and he decided to, while they're fixing his tire or whatever, he's going to have something to eat. They come running. They didn't even charge him. There's still not even a charge out there for this man. They came and he told them, no, that was a paper towel. That was a paper towel. So he was like, I don't want to get arrested. So he probably did a little this, a little that. And they took him to jail and they didn't charge him because there was no drugs. So what is the charge? Even if it's resisting. What was the original charge? There is no charge out there yet. There's no charge out there yet. And this happened in October and there's still no charge. And so then he ended up dead the next day. But I'm going to digress from that for right now because I want to get into something else. So, the mom has hired an attorney.
As she should.
And Here's the thing. He's saying to the media, there are just so many unanswered questions. Because here's the first original question was, how does such a minor moment end in death? That's the biggest question out there. How did this end in death? Because here's the thing, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. And they have nothing on him. There was nothing worthy
That's
of
wild.
him even going to jail, much less losing his life.
Overthrow
So
the
did
paper
he
salad
lose
out
his
the
life
window.
in jail?
Yes. Yes.
Beat his ass.
Yes.
They beat that man.
And so and let me correct myself. It was not the manager that called. It was an employee, which is even worse.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna bypass that too. I'm gonna digress from that because I want to get into this part so we can get into our next segment. But
That's dry snitching on the highest level.
Say that again.
I said that's dry snitching on the highest level.
Ain't it? He's trying to get a promotion, right? But even the attorney, he's stating, you know,
I hope a guilty conscience eat him.
there's 5 bullet points. 5 bullet points, and I want you all to listen very clearly, American. His first question: which agency arrested White, Mr. Tremaine White? I'm going to say his full name. Which agency arrested him? Next question: what charges was he given? Next question, or next bullet point: how many hours did White spend in jail before his death? Was excessive force used? Last bullet point: what was the exact cause of his death? So now, I'm going to say this. At least 2 of these 5 bullet points should be answered the minute he took the case.
Facts.
Number 1,
Like
what the hell is the damn charge?
Like, how did he go from eating a burger to dead
Right,
in a matter of hours?
right.
And all he did was go to jail.
What is the charge? Does the attorney have to ask, what is the charge? Small town in Mississippi, folks, I guess. But I digress. Next, the second question that should easily be answered out of these 5 bullet points is, who in the hell arrested him?
He must have had a fire reading rainbow skills to make them officers pissed off to the point where they killed that man. His words must have been lethal and cutting through their head.
I'm gonna tell you, and this is just my opinion. They beat that man before they took him to jail, and he died in jail because of his
Injuries.
His injuries. Yes, I think that's what happened. I think that they, based on just experience, just life experiences. I could be wrong, but that's just America.
They took him out
that's
in the
just
cut.
my prediction, and there's more to come because, you know, even though it's a small town in Mississippi, we still got body cam. Where's the body cam? That's the question. Is that all of that stuff? You know, so. I definitely, America, if you're interested, I'm definitely going to keep up with this. Once again, his name was Tremaine White, and this man was simply unalive for just trying to get a new tire. And they called the police on him because he threw a paper towel out the window, and it has been confirmed. It has been confirmed that it was a paper towel that he threw out the window. So once again, before I close this segment, America, I want to ask you, if it was a paper towel and it was just a misunderstanding, number 1, why was he taken to jail? And number 2, why did he lose his life? And I'm out.
All right, and when we come back, we will get into a new segment. But before I cut it off, I know that we had a couple of giggle moments through this segment, and I want to reassure you all that we don't take light to a situation like this.
Amen.
It is a very serious situation.
Amen.
But we try to stay as a positive podcast.
Yeah.
Like that, those serious moments are taken seriously by all of the hosts on this podcast.
Yeah.
And we want to say rest in peace and our condolences go out to Tremaine White's family.
Yes, and let me say this before we leave. The article, this is an article, and the story was by Quentin Smith. This is an article I got from Quentin Smith from WLBT. I think it's just a local news outlet in Mississippi. WLBT.
Check 'em
Quentin
out.
Smith. Good job. Hope this receive more from you.
All right. And we'll be
Peace.
back in just a second.
All right, America, we back. We're gonna switch gears and get into the Sports Junkie Lounge with my man D-Lo. What you got for us today, D-Lo?
Man. All right. So first we got that Alabama game to talk about.
Yeah.
And then we gonna jump into the game last night with Oklahoma.
Mm.
But like
Watch
you would
out now.
like you would say, let's talk about that Alabama game. So and this is why I say that it wasn't nothing on the Big Blue.
What was the outcome?
You didn't have
What
to
was
play.
the outcome?
Hold on. Let me say this real quick. You didn't have to pull my my blue card last week. You didn't have to do that. All right.
Oh, he remembers.
Oh yeah, I hold the
Texas
receipts.
game.
I hold the receipts.
America.
So
go back
but
and
this,
listen.
But this is why I get worried about them on the road, because we did lose that game.
Okay.
Okay, out of the last 5 away games, we won 1.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I get worried about them on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And for future reference, it's going to be why I get worried in the tournaments, because they're not at home.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we do travel with the team really well,
Mm-hmm.
even though like the SEC tournament, that's going to be like being at home because we travel to
Right.
Tennessee, we travel to Nashville really well.
Mm-hmm. We was definitely in Alabama.
So
Hope they made it back alive. That's another topic.
so we did lose that game. It was 83-96. So
what is your take on it? I want to hear what's your take on what you saw.
So
was there a possibility that we could have won that game?
We could have.
What would it have taken?
So my thing is, especially in these past 5 stretches, we've been without either Butler or Robertson or both.
Mm-hmm.
And that does matter, and I'll bring in that's going to be caught up on the Oklahoma game.
Agreed.
But in this instance, I think that's what hurt us, because what people don't know is the intensity on defense that Butler brings and Robertson brings.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of resonates through the whole team. That makes them better on their defense.
Okay.
The other thing that I kind of seen was they kind of went, they kind of fell back into that habit of I go, you go type ball. I'm going to set the pick, but I'm going to go the opposite way of the pick. It just, the fundamentals wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of seemed like they lost that fight that we kept talking about at the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my problem with the Alabama game. What you thought?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I honestly felt like that we just needed that one player to step up that could get his own shot. And the only one that, to me, that could do that, because remember, we started out the game and we were up 20-9.
Yeah.
And of course, I didn't expect us to maintain that, because I knew Sears was going to light it up, and the other guy, I forget his name, the other guard. But we have to play a perfect game on the road. That's no doubt about it. We have to be perfect, and a part of being perfect is making your free throws. That hurt us. We didn't. We Williams. I don't understand. He can make them on the road, because that previous game, at home he was 6 of 6. He was perfect, but he and I was calling it. If you had been in there, I was like, watch, he's gonna hit the front of the rim, clank up, front of the rim, clank up. He never, and he's too big to not be getting it over the rim. That's number one. Number two, Owe. We need Owe. He fouled out with 2 points. He fouled out with 2 points. And what was the score again?
83-96.
83-96. That's a 13-point lead. How many points does he average? We know that he gets 10 points at least 10 a game because he was on a streak. He was at least scoring 10 points in every game for this season. I think his whole college career.
He averaged 16.1 a game.
And there you go. And there you go.
Yeah.
And there you go. So we don't need him to get 16. Yeah, maybe in overtime. But if we get his 13, then the game goes into overtime.
Yeah. Basically, he's our leading scorer per game.
Exactly. And so that's what I saw. And so, a lot of people can say what we're not, but I don't dwell on that anymore because I know what we're not. But at this point in the season, I can only focus on what we are and what we have to do and what it's going to take to win. Certain teams can play an imperfect game and still come out on top. We don't have room for that, especially with our injuries. And so we're going to need somebody like Owen to step up, which I'm going to allow you to go into the Oklahoma game because that's what's his output made the difference that game.
Well,
so
before we go into the Oklahoma game, I'm glad you brought up the free throws because that was one of the things I was going to say. It just kind of slipped my mind.
Amen.
Free throws is a big part of this game nowadays, especially when they call fouls like they're throwing candy out. You know what I mean? You need to have a free throw game. I don't know why players don't have. There's players that don't work on their free throw game. It's a big necessity for them to have it. But so that being said, let's jump into this Oklahoma game. It was really good. I was glad to see Butler and Robertson return, and that made the difference as far as defense. You've seen that,
yes.
And then, like I've been saying this whole game, like I've been saying this whole season, OA is going to be that player that's going to come through in those need to have moments.
And we needed that in the Alabama game. So let's not get it twisted. And he came from Oklahoma, America, 2 years. He played at Oklahoma for 2 years. So for him, this was kind of personal because, they booed him every time he touched the ball.
Oh, yeah. It was the same thing as Kentucky. Some of the Kentucky fans, where every time Theo and Wagner touched the ball, they booed them. You know what I mean?
Right.
It is what it is. I hate when fan bases do that. Just be glad they moved on to a team where they can shine.
But all it did was give him life. It just gave him life. He scored 28 points.
And some players do that. We call that the Jordan effect.
Oh, I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to say that, America.
I'm not calling him the next Jordan.
Don't get the word twisted. It's the Jordan effect because you could not talk shit to Jordan or you was going to get this word.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
So in that he had a friendly competition going on with one of his players, at Oklahoma. So I think that kind of fueled it too. But it's the same thing when we booed the players that went to Arkansas. It fueled them. They beat us. It just, you can tell the differences of where we should be at to where we could be at our lowest.
I see the potential in this team, but we don't have room for error. But let me hit you with a nugget, because they were talking about that. Owe left. He left because he wanted a bigger spotlight.
Yeah.
And there's no bigger spotlight in UK. I don't care what you heard. UK is the biggest spotlight out there. That's why when you beat us, that's why everybody gets hyped when we get beat. Y'all catching us now, but y'all better because we coming.
Yeah.
But Sheway, he was at Oklahoma for 2 years, and now he's here at UK. You know how many 20-point games he's after? And he had 28 last night against his old school. With UK, that made 9 20-point games that he's had in this one season. That's not over yet. Do you know how many he had in Oklahoma for the 2 years? How many 20-point games?
3.
2.
Oh.
2. So sometimes environment matters. So yeah, keep booing him because he knew. He knew what he was getting himself into when he went to UK. He saw the positives in it. You know, and 28 is his career high. He got 28 points, and he's 18 in the second half, I think. Not in the second half, but, you know, like their last 18 points, something like that. You know, I can't remember, but, you know,
And
so they booed him. It just helped.
And this also goes into the Jordan effect. It's not really the Jordan effect. It's the All-Star effect. Let's just say that. And this goes back into what you were saying when you said they don't have that guy. The problem with teams nowadays, and this is the problem that I had with the Calipari era, was that when he was bringing all those five-star recruits, the team didn't have an identity because they didn't have that go-to player.
He had too many people playing out.
You know what I mean? So, but like I said, they didn't have that identity to where, you know, where they say, oh, it's Kevin Durant and the Suns versus LeBron James and the Lakers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't have, like, we ain't had that player.
He
And
doesn't know how to create that player.
But also, too, we ain't had that in this season. I mean, purely that's because on how much time he had to put this team together, work out the team, to find out who was that person. You know what I mean?
But let me ask you. So how you know, and this is to Calipari's lack of coaching in my point of view. What freshmen are you going to find leadership in versus, like I said, Owe has had, you know, you can find that in this team. Pope has got a bunch of freshmen, but he's got, you know.
Well, yeah, but that's where I do have hope with Pope.
Hope with Pope.
See what I said? See what I did?
I saw that. I heard that. Hope with Pope.
So,
yes,
but this
that
is where
was dope.
But that's where I do have that is because you see that he did bring in, instead of going out there and trying to get a lot of the 5-star freshmen, he did get some veteran people to come in.
Yep.
And he didn't really have time to put that identity on that person to where, because also too that identity thing, it's not nothing that's made up. It's not nothing it's a strategy because like I said, it becomes the Jordan effect to where you put the ball in his hands, all the eyes go on that person. Yeah. It opens up the floor to where they can, because like that one, I think it was Butler, where he dribbled down to the basket and then he kicked it out the car. Carr was going to make that extra pass, but then he was like, nah, because the dude fell for that pass and he just shot it. You know what I mean? Like that right there, it opens up the floor. You get all the eyes drawn in on that one person. Yeah. And it takes
leadership. It takes leadership to be that one. You know, who's going to take the reins? Who's going to take the weight? Who's going to take the weight? And that's the big question. That's always the question who's going to be your floor general? Yeah. And I think that Calipari had players with that potential, but with them being freshmen, they didn't know how. Yeah. And plus their vision, like I said, like we say, their vision was not the name on the front of the jersey. Yeah. They had their eyes was on a bigger prize, and that's okay because now they're focused on I can't go out here and mess up, or I'm gonna lower the value of my stock for the trade. All right, cool. But the Pope is gonna have I'm gonna have me a floor general like Butler. Butler, he's been to the Final Four with San Diego State. Yeah. You know, so he's got a floor general that can be like, you're out of place, you're out of place, you're out of place. And that's the difference. So it takes, you know, who's gonna take the weight? Who's gonna be that floor general that's not afraid to tell you, I'm gonna need you need to step it up. I need you to do this. I need you to do that.
And this is where my biggest thing was with Pope coming in, is because Pope was the floor general of a national championship team for Kentucky.
He was team captain. He was one of the captains for 2 years.
And that's where he was talking about when he was doing his speech, like, you know, they're gonna come for me. The team is gonna come for me if I lose. You know what I mean? Because he was the floor general. He was the person to tell somebody you're out of position. Yeah. Go over here. I got the ball handler. You know what I mean? Like,
and he wasn't a starter. Yeah. But Rick Pitino, and that's a whole different animal. I wish we had Pitino back, but I'll take him back. I said that years ago.
I would too, but I'm kind of happy where he seems kind
No,
of
I'm
happy
happy
where he's
for
at.
him. No, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. But and that's the thing. Rick Pitino had enough in him to say, I don't care. You don't have to start, but I see something in you. I'm gonna make you my captain.
Yeah.
And he's not even a starter. And and the players are gonna fall in line.
Yeah.
They're gonna fall in line with that. And that's what it takes, as a coach. And I think that for UK to make noise, and not because I don't care anything about the SEC tournament. We're already projected a 3 seed, so it's going to be what it's going to be. But we can make some noise in the SEC tournament. But I'm looking at the bigger picture, the NCAA tournament, and he's got the. If we're all healthy, we've got that team of experience to where we don't have to get knocked out in the first round by Oakland or by St. Pete.
Right.
We don't have because we can get up, they can come back, but we'll compose ourselves because we're not going to let one person come out there and just jack up threes. I mean, and it's happened. Yeah. It's happened. But Pope has shown to be able to remedy that, and that's my hope. That's my hope that we have experience that will sustain us, during the tough times in the tournament, because you don't. That's the thing about the tournament. You don't get to scout these teams until you find out who you playing.
Yeah,
it's different,
And it's like I said, because it's just one of those things. Like, and I don't want people to take this out of context on that. We are dissing Calipari, and let me get this settled. All right. What he did,
because they did the Calipari. Period. I was just
when he came in, you ain't said nothing this whole segment. Just do it right on your phone.
We just need a trigger word. We need a trigger word. Calipari is his trigger word, America. We know now.
But it's one of those things that.
Because I don't be watching basketball. They my catch up, so I can jump in and chime in on something that I don't know anything about.
But he's got ketchup while we got mustard.
But
ketchup, we got mustard.
But the thing is the whole Calipari thing is that, okay, I see what he did with bringing the championship to us. I seen what he did in his first 5 years. It's fine. Mm-hmm. But at a certain point, when you don't evolve your coaching, when you don't evolve your game plan to match what's going on to make yourself better, it's time for you to go.
His philosophy, I got tired of his philosophy. Plain and simple. I'm gonna keep it real.
Basically, that's what it is.
I'll never hate on him, but I got tired of his philosophy.
Because he said, he put on that whole thing. Oh, I'm gonna do things different next season, and then he goes to Arkansas and runs the same thing. Mm-hmm. Now with
he said I might start looking into the portal. I might have to start getting some experienced players in here, and then he got them, and they're the same shit.
Yeah,
they're the same shit. They're the same shit.
Now Pope, this is where I want to see on how he evolves from this season where he just got thrown into the wolves to where he's gonna have a whole off season. He's gonna have a whole, time to actually put a team together, work with the team. But even with that, I wasn't putting no expectations on this team. They have succeeded in my expectation already. I'm kind of salty they didn't win the Arkansas game, but I get over that. Mm-hmm. They won the major game, the other major games that I wanted to see them win. Mm-hmm. And if, like you said, if we're healthy, I can see us going far into the tournament. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to be a national championship team. Which, don't get me wrong, crazy things have happened in the NCAA tournament. But I think we can go far.
It's about drawing recruits at this point for me.
Yeah.
And I think Pope has done a good job of selling UK.
Yeah, and
on the University of Kentucky to incoming
but I can see that where he put in the time to where even this team has made it known that they're playing for the front of the jersey. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like I said, I'm not gonna be all hurt and mad that they got knocked out of the tournament this year because it's a learning curve. It's a learning experience.
Who we play next?
Next, let's see here.
I'll tell you, Auburn, number one team in the country, America.
He already knows. Yeah,
number one team in America.
We play Auburn and then we play LSU, which are both home games. So we've only lost a handful, not even a handful of home games this season. So I think we maybe lost 2 or 3.
Probably 2.
Yeah.
Alabama is 1.
Arkansas.
Yes, those are the only 2.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna say this, America. Against Auburn, in my opinion, we've got to rebound. We've got to maintain the boards out. You will always be in it against Auburn because they don't mind jacking up threes. This is a new era of basketball. Jacking up threes is just what it is. And we've just got to limit them. We've got to limit their second and third shots.
The 2 things that come to my mind, on top of what you were saying, because I do agree with the whole rebounding aspect. You've got to out rebound, and not even out rebound, but you have to come up with the points on the rebound.
Right. You've got to take advantage of turnovers, all of that.
But the 2 things that I will say that I want to see, one is free throws.
Oh gosh, yes. And we good at home.
You got to hit the free throws. And why did it just slip my mind on what I was thinking on the other one I was thinking about? I want to see, like, they got to get better in their body control. And that's the biggest thing.
Finishing around the rim? Finishing around the rim?
No, when I say body control, it's kind of like the reason why Williams gets hit with a lot of fouls, because he flares too much with his arms. You know what I mean? And if
damn LeBron, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, America. I'm just kidding.
But like, he flares too much. Like, when you make a swipe for the ball, or you just gotta you gotta put your hand out there to where you disrupt it. If you disrupt it, it's fine. But if you're doing all that waving your arms and you're making it noticeable where you drop that elbow to where you backing them up, you're going to get called with the foul every time. Mm-hmm. So their body control, they have to get better body control.
Right.
But I mean, they've been needing to do that all season. But if they can make their free throws, rebound, and keep up the defensive intensity,
they've got to rebound.
We got a real good shot on the remainder of the season.
They're going to keep us in it because they're going to shoot threes. We just got to defend the 3 well and limit their offensive rebounding and make our shots.
Yeah.
But it's an early game, so we can get out. Whatever happens, we can get on with the rest of our damn day.
Yeah.
On Saturday, because the game is at 1:00.
It's at a 1:00 game.
Yeah. So, is that all you have for us, man?
That's all I got, man.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So, America, we got a hobby coming up next with his segment. Pop. Is it culture? I'm excited to hear what he has, America. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
All right, y'all. So welcome back, and let's dive into Pop. It's culture with me, your boy JaVie. So, what's going on right now in the spaces and social medias and Pop? It's culture. Is that one sad news? We have 2 pieces of sad news actually, but the first one is really big. Notorious B.I.G.'s mom died. She passed away at 72.
Shout out to Big.
Yeah, she dedicated her life to his memory. She really, 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 really did. She was a beautiful woman. But they don't have much on how she died. But she was an older lady. She was 72. So she lived.
Well, she had cancer too at one point. I don't know if she was ever in remission.
But they say that she died of natural causes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they say she died of natural causes, and I'm sure a little bit of a broken heart was in there too. So, but she lived a really long life and was able to carry on his memory. So that's the
Yeah.
biggest and most important thing.
Shout out to Miss
Because
Wallace.
he died at 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, she never got justice on his death.
Yeah.
So shout out to Biggie and his mom.
Yeah,
Miss
at least now
Violet.
they together, and she gonna find out the truth finally of what happened.
Yep. Her name is Miss Voletta Wallace.
Yes. Yeah. Shout out to Miss Valletta Wallace.
Yes. And rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
The next piece of bad news is weird. It's very strange. It's very, very strange. And I want to get everybody's insight on this. So, Gene Hackman and his wife, Arakawa,
Yeah.
were found dead in their home, along with one of their dogs who was found dead next to the wife. Gene was found in the mudroom, and it looked like he had tripped and fell, is what it's saying, in that his wife was found in the bathroom with peels, and the dog was found next to her. They also had two other dogs that survived, but they were in a different part of the home. Like, they wasn't like free roaming, I don't think. They say that there is a little bit of signs of mummification when it was discovered, when their bodies were discovered. So it makes me think, like, there was foul play at some point. They haven't ruled foul play, but but there has to be if there's mummification.
Yeah. It looks like the bodies were placed and.
So from what I read today, because it was weird to me, because when I first saw it, it said that they ruled out foul play. They see no signs of foul play. And then they came out and said that they ruled out carbon monoxide poisoning. And it's just weird to me because the wife, as far as I know, was found dead in the bathroom with pills laying on the floor. The dog was laying next to her, so the dog ate some of the pills that was laying on the floor. But what was she doing on the floor with the pills?
So what I'm finding in my research, it doesn't say anything about pills. It says that she was found in the bathroom with a space heater close to her. So what it's telling me is when they found her, she showed signs of death with body discomposition, bloating in her face, and mummification in both of her hands. So like Rick and Morty said, in both of her hands.
Been dead for a while.
So Hackman was 95. He was found in the mudroom, and they discovered him by doing a search warrant. While his wife, 64, was found. Oh dang!
Yeah, he got her. When, yeah. So she was probably in her 30s while he was in his 60s.
But she was found in the bathroom with the space heater nearby, with a deceased German Shepherd was found about 10 to 15 feet from her by an outlet, while the two other healthy dogs were also found on the property. It's suspicious enough in nature to require thorough search and investigation, and warrants the warrant and affidavit said, and it says that the police were first called to the resident on Sunset Trail in Santa Fe around 1:45 p.m. on Wednesday, where Gene and his wife and a dog were found deceased. Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office Public Information Officer Dennis, whatever his last name is, said in the statement. Denise, I'm sorry, is the woman. She added that foul play is not suspected as a factor in the death at this time. However, the exact cause of death has not been determined.
Right.
And this source is from Yahoo Entertainment, but this comes from TMZ and the French Connection. What I thought was, okay, he's 95. He's gonna go at any time. But when I got to reading hers and she was 63, like that kind of threw me off. Like, okay, so she's not as old as him.
Mm-hmm.
So her death would be the weird one to me. Did he die in the mudroom and then she went up and unalived herself?
Wow.
In the German Shepherd? If there was pills, like, and this is just one source, so I don't know if your source actually said that there were pills involved. So, and there very well might be in, because she was in the bathroom, nowhere near him was he already gone, but her body was decomposing and had rigor mortis in it, but I don't think his was.
Excuse me, yeah.
Or maybe he fell and had a heart attack, or anything could have happened.
It's just,
it doesn't necessarily have to be foul play, but it's really weird as far as the circumstances in the dog.
It's too coincidental, you know?
Yeah.
That they would die. I mean, and it doesn't sound like they died at the same time, of course, but so close together. And I don't, like I said, he was the modified rigor mortis. You know, it's just weird that one person would be dead or unalived and the other person wouldn't be able to acknowledge that and call EMTs or something, make a call to 911. You know, how was that not involved? How was it that their deaths are so close together that nobody had it in them to be able to call 911? How is it that not one was able to find the other person's body?
Right.
And that, with the time length of them being unalive, how come? Because I think he had like children, you know.
So he was best known for his works in The French Connection.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Superman.
Yeah.
Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
AKA
Lex Luthor.
Lex
Yes,
Luthor.
sir.
He was
With
Superman.
Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
And the Royal
He was Lex Luthor.
Tenenbaum.
Oh, he did that Enemy of the State
And
with,
his wife was
with Will Smith.
And he did the replacements with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that
he was on a
you
lot
can
of
find
things.
a lot of stuff on him.
And his wife was a classical pianist.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So it just, and like I said, that's the part. But what was you saying?
It just. So my thing, like, because I do believe he did have kids. Like, as far as with everything setting in, like you said, rigor mortis, mummification, like nobody checked on him.
Yeah, well, I guess that's what the search warrant was for, was because...
A wellness check, maybe?
Yeah, a wellness check. And that's what I'm assuming the search warrant was
But now,
for.
he was 95 and she was 64, right?
Yeah.
So at 95 and her being 64, was she able to live, were they able to live alone together without some type of caregiver? Was she able to take care of him? Because at 90, and I don't know the
64, I would think
livelihood
so.
that he had at 95. I don't know that, but it seems like if she's 64 and he's 95,
she's able to take care of him. She should be able to take care of him at 64.
I mean,
Yeah, but I don't think there was.
But it just depends on.
She might have had people coming to help.
Right, I'm saying,
sure.
but I mean,
I don't think there was any reports out there because they would done report
well, it's
Gene
too early. He just
Hackman.
died today.
Well, I know,
Yeah.
but they would have had reports like
Yesterday.
Gene Hackman had troubles with this, had complications
Oh,
with
you
that.
talking about- yeah.
To where where it would
He
have been
passed
known
yesterday.
Well,
to
yeah,
where
I mean, but-
to where it would have been known that he would have died he would needed extra care.
Right, but I'm not saying health issues like that. But at 95, who knows if he was able to move the same?
Yeah.
If he was able to, he might just. I mean, he might have physically, health wise, been okay. But could he move? Could he move without a walker? Could he go up the stairs on his own? It's just certain things he might not have been able to do on his own. So I think that, especially with her being 64, I feel like with him being the age gap, and it all come out, but I feel like that there had to have been somebody, a home caregiver.
It might have been. That might have been the person that couldn't get in to do to take care of him and do the wellness.
But there's
check,
somebody on the inside that knows how they were living. If he's 95 and she's 64, they, especially at that age, they probably, they're gonna need some type of maid or something to
Yeah,
they're gonna need
that's true.
something. They're gonna need something.
Well, I'm trying to
But
think
he,
because I'm trying to think if he's been anything recently.
I don't think
Oh,
he has.
nah.
He was 95.
Because-
so
Well, I
he's
mean, you
probably
can't.
at home.
I mean, nowadays you can't even put that
But
because
still,
I mean,
yeah, I
I
get what
mean,
you're
look,
saying.
I mean,
He was-
look
I
at
think he was retired from acting, and I might have seen that somewhere that he had retired from acting. But
yeah, because I mean, you can't really say, well, he's 95. 'Cause, I mean, look at William Shatner.
That's true.
William Shatner's in his 90s. You wouldn't even think he was in his 90s.
But
Playboy,
I'm sure they'll
that's
do their
Playboy stuff
investigating.
right there, boy. We're on a whole different step here, bro.
I'm just
With
saying.
the real boy.
I'm just saying
Is
though.
he 95? Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
We're gonna
William-
have to look. Hold up,
I
America.
think
they'll-
don't
I think
know.
they'll do
How old
that.
is
William
William?
Shatner.
America, do
I'm
y'all know
telling
how
you.
old William? I
Because
don't think he's
me and Tamara, we
95.
looked it up. We looked it up. He
How
was
Well,
old
while
is
you
William
looking it up,
Shatner?
I think that they'll do more investigating and figure out what everything happened.
93 years old.
Okay.
Everything
Shout
that
out to
happened,
William
and it'll
Shatner,
come to light.
But I want to say, I want to take a moment while we're on the celebrities passing. There's one more that I want to give a shout out to. Roberta Flack.
Yes.
Killing them softly with
Yeah.
his song. Killing them softly. Yeah, because I have a cousin, a second cousin, Les McKeon. He recently passed away, maybe last year or year before. He's a famous jazz pianist, and he collaborated with Roberta Flack, and so I want to give a shout out to Roberta Flack. She's done a lot, with Donny Hathaway. Those are the more popular compilations that they did together. I can't. What was the song that she did with Donny Hathaway? Can you remember? Look that up real quick. Look that up real quick. The song that Roberta Flack did with Donny Hathaway. Oh my gosh, and it's a classic. So we're not going to walk away without bringing that up as well. Because if you don't know Roberta Flack, you might know the song. But everybody knows the Fugees version, the Killing Them Softly. One Time. With what's her name, Lauryn Hill and Pross, and the producer.
But yeah. So, but Gene had
Where's the
3
love?
kids.
Yes.
Gene had 3 kids that was succeeded by him.
Okay.
Yeah, he still has kids. That was the answer to your question.
Yeah. Good,
But,
good stuff. Good stuff.
In other news, we had 2 awards that happened. We had the SAG Awards and the NCAAP Awards.
Okay.
Keke Palmer won the NCAAP Award for Entertainer of the Year.
Didn't she?
You had Kerry Washington win for her role in the 6 888.
She won a couple. She was doing her thing.
Outstanding Actress in a Motion Picture. And then Denzel Washington won Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Motion Picture for Gladiator 2.
Okay.
You had another person, Ebony Obsidian, win for the 6 888 as supporting actress, outstanding supporting actress. And Sing Sang was the song that won for outstanding. Was the independent film that won for outstanding motion picture. Who else won? Inside Out 2, the animated movie, won outstanding animated motion picture.
Okay.
Blue Ivy Carter and Mufasa Lion King won an award for outstanding character voice over performance. So Blue Ivy is Beyonce's daughter.
Beyonce's daughter. Hey, word up.
And that was a great night. Keke Palmer had a big speech where she acknowledged that she didn't think she was going to win because Cynthia Erivo was up in the same category for her role in Wicked. But it was a beautiful moment to see one black actress or one actress give props to another actress.
Yeah.
And it felt even better because it was two strong female black icons
Yeah.
in their own world, in their own sense, in their own
Kiki's
right.
still young. She
Yes.
still got a lot
And
of
she
work
is
she can
still
do.
an icon.
Um, Did any of y'all see Gladiator 2?
No.
Not yet, and it's right there. Every time I keep bypassing it.
Yeah, no, we actually watched it. I think it was a
Is it
week
good?
ago. Yeah, it's really good.
Okay.
Okay.
It story tied in from the first one real well.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah. And it even Denzel, like I could see him winning an award off that because he
I want to
did
see
really
it.
good.
I want to see it
Like he
It's on
played
Prime, I believe.
on Prime. Okay,
Yeah.
I got Prime.
Yeah, it's really good. I do recommend it if you haven't watched it yet.
America.
Okay.
If you haven't watched it, Gladiator 2. Check it
Alright.
out.
Yeah.
And then over on the SAG Awards side, we had Demi Moore win Outstanding Performance by a Female Actress in a Leading Role for her role in The Substance. Zoe Saldana won for her role in Amelia Perez. And then the movie with, what is her name? Selena Gomez. They won an award as well.
So many movies I didn't know
I
Demi
know.
Moore was still out there.
And I
doing
think it's
anything.
Only Murder in This Building is the name of it. Yeah,
Okay.
she won for that role. And then there were other people that won, but I don't
Is
really
that
know
the
who they
one
are. So
you said Only Murder in This Building?
Yeah.
Is that the one with Martin Short and Steve Martin?
yes,
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that I've been wanting to check out that show. I've heard it's really good.
What's it called again?
Only Murder in This Building.
I'll watch those two together, man. They make a great. They on screen chemistry.
Who, Martin Short and Steve Martin?
Yes.
They've been,
Three
yeah,
amigos.
they've been doing it for a long
That's
time.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I can
Yeah.
see that because their on-screen chemistry is awesome.
Yeah, well,
that's
I
what I'm
mean-
saying. With them two together, yes, most definitely.
And it's funny too. Like I've
That-
seen
that-
like the two.
I can believe it. That's all you do.
Did you
Martin
not-
Short and Steve Martin.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen the trailers and it looks really good. I want to watch
yeah, I've
it.
been wanting to check it out.
We are the three amigos.
Which I mean, speaking of them too, did you watch the 50th anniversary of SNL?
I've seen bits and pieces. I've got to watch that though.
We gotta have
It
to
was-
talk about that in a segment. I don't want to talk about it right now because we are about to be out of time.
Yeah,
But
it's
we
a lot.
have to bring that up in the next episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so save that. I don't want to give them any spoilers to it because I feel like I need to see that and you need to see it, and it's gonna be. A really
I need
good.
honestly, I need to finish it because we stopped at like
See,
because it's like 2.5 hours long,
It's odd.
and I think we have like
Yeah.
30 minutes to
we're
an
gonna
hour
have to
left
get
of
into
it.
that. All right. Well, it's time to wrap it up. But that was a fun episode, right?
Yeah.
Very good.
All right. And I'm your boy Javi here with my boy D'Lo
Yo,
and my boy Cha Cha.
What's poppin'?
And that is the episode. So make sure y'all stay tuned and get ready for Cha Cha's final thought. You ready?
Thought of the week.
Thought of the week. Thought of the week. I always mess that up. It's so bad. All
It's
right,
all
y'all. We'll
good.
see you
Yeah.
soon.
I'm ready.